both ends. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. Okay, I think we're ready. Here goes. All right, we're starting the show. Begins in 3, 2. Oh, shit. Hold on. I knew I was forgetting something. Hold on.
Shit landed right between 3 and 2.
Right when I thought I was ready, I wasn't. Okay, so let's do that again. I need a long one there. Let's do... shit. Hold on, chat room. Be calm. Calm yourselves. Calm yourselves down.
Yeah.
Okay, copied those over. Wait, what's this?
When you go to...
Oh, yeah. We're going to play him up top.
Okay.
And play this guy down below.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Down below.
Hubba,
You say.
Hubba. And then, wait, what's this one?
It's like during the...
No, we've done that one. How about this one?
Meeting.
No.
More news.
No.
More.
Yeah, we'll play that one. All right, and then I got 2 quick Fletchers. Hold on, let's see. How about a booby and dog flung poo? All right. TMS
Both good choices.
is ready now. It's no longer a test. We are good. All right, here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
When you go to your favorite fast food restaurant, you're going to be eating a fake hamburger. You're going to go to the grocery store and buy a pound of fake hamburger or a fake steak, and you won't know that it was grown in some big corporation's laboratory. This is the nightmare world that they're taking us into. They're changing God's creation. Why? They want to change human DNA so that you can't be born again. That's where they're going with this, to change the DNA of humans, so it will be impossible for a human to be born again. They want to create a race of soulless creatures on this planet.
Money's gone, bitch.
The morning stream. Better than dog butt flung poo.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to TMS, the morning stream for June 17th, 2019. I'm Scott. He's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi. I'm going to wave for those watching, but I'm going to say hi for those listening.
Now, here's the question on everyone's lips.
Yes.
I have to ask this before we even get to the Chicago stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Did you, A, weigh yourself on Friday at all? And B, did you eat things in Chicago that would make weighing yourself complicated?
The answers to those questions in random order are yes and no.
All right. Well,
however,
yeah, go ahead.
I'll give them to you in the correct order. No, I didn't do a weigh-in on Friday because I was flying I had to be at the airport at 4:45 in the morning to get on the 6 a.m. flight.
Good Lord.
Yeah. There was no going for weigh-in. So I went Thursday. Evening before dinner. Smart man.
Yep.
Tina went and grabbed ramen on Thursday night, and I was like, the Weight Watchers place is like 4 doors down from the ramen place, and ramen is a few points. It's not, you'd think ramen would be like, oh, it's like broth and veggies and stuff like that. I mean, the noodles are the thing in there.
Yeah, the pasta gets you every time.
Yeah, so I did my weigh-in right before that. I am still, for the second time in 3 weeks, I am level, even Steven from the previous week. I have neither gained plums nor lost plums.
Okay. All right. That's good, right? I mean, it's better than gaining. So
absolutely better than gaining.
Sure.
While in Chicago, though, well, even while in the airport for breakfast, I grabbed a breakfast burrito, which was a little disappointing. It was tortilla, eggs, bacon, and potatoes. There was no sauce in there, so I basically had to go grab a bottle of Cholula, which is my go-to if they've got it.
So
and douse that thing in Cholula
Yeah.
as I was eating it.
I mean, we can just say, I think for the record, Cholula is the best of those things, of all those kinds of hot sauces.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I think
rocks.
so.
We have 2 or 3 bottles scattered about the house at any given time because we know we like Cholula here as well. Anyway.
I did have deep fried chicken breast tenders for lunch on Friday, so that was good. But then I did go for Giordano's pizza on Friday night, and between 7 of us, we put away 2 large pizzas, 2 large Giordano's deep dish Chicago.
Yeah, which is a
Lasagna with
dense.
crust.
Those are dense, heavy. It's like giant stones worth of pizza. It's
They are.
huge, heavy pizza. Yeah.
I took a picture of the last slice. I meant to take a picture when the pizzas came out, but we were all just starving from walking around all day long at Grant Park.
Yeah.
And so we demolished. We were all over those pizzas. Like it was. We had a deluxe on one, and then a meat focused pizza because a couple of the guys that we were walking around with don't like vegetables.
Oh, geez.
And
okay.
it showed.
All right.
But so to start off, we each grabbed a slice from each pizza. We could have just said, "Oh, I'll take one from that one."
See how
But
it
once
goes.
the first guy said, "You know what? I'll just grab a slice from each of them right now." Then everybody felt like, "Oh, maybe I better grab a slice from each of them now too." And so we all, we took basically 7 slices each from each of the pizzas. But no, it was great. It was such it was great pizza. Giordano's, man. Giordano's and Illuminati's, staples of the Chicago pizza industry, and both of them are excellent.
If they were here, I would be there all the time.
Would you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would. I love that stuff. I can't get
Yeah.
enough of it. When we had the frozen ones, I thought I was in heaven for a while there. And I'm
We,
annoyed I don't have them anymore. I want more of them.
We actually just got Illuminati's here in Denver, and I've been there exactly once since they opened. I think close to 9 months ago, maybe almost a year ago.
Aren't you just constantly tempted to go there, though? Like when you just want to go all the time?
Yes, but
I would be.
yeah. I mean, I'm tempted for a lot of things, but I don't know.
Oh, look at this! You can
I'm-
mail. I can just mail this stuff to me. Why don't I do more of that?
Well, yeah, that's what Barry did. He sent you a bunch of pizzas via the U.S. mail.
Yeah, that's true. I wondered. I guess in my head I was like, how did he do that? But maybe he just used they have a shipping thing.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes frozen and.
I have to
And
get more of
shipped,
that
in a
stuff. Oh
frozen-
my
frozen
gosh,
pack.
it's so good, you guys.
It's really good, especially the giant sausage disc on the sausage pizza.
Right, that thing is like a whole pig flattened out into a patty.
Hammered out like a
so
veal
good.
cut, like a schnitzel. Hammered out like a schnitzel.
I don't even know what to compare it to. Like food wise, like what other
Well,
thing have I eaten that's like that? I can't think of anything.
It's like if Jimmy Dean is the 45 RPM single, then the Lou Malnati's sausage disc is the Wall, is the Pink Floyd The Wall.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, vinyl's back in, so I'll justify eating a whole pizza.
Perfect.
I'm ready. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, so let's talk about your time there and your Pokemon catching and your whatnot. What happened?
Yeah. So first off, just we gotta say, compared to what I heard about the 2017 and 2018 Go Fest events, the 2017 was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was
And-
bad.
And probably fire should be spelled FYRE based on how bad it was in 2017.
Yeah.
2018 I hear was better, but boy, this thing here in 2019, the one from Friday, or actually the whole weekend, because it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe, 4 days, ran like a well-oiled machine. It was great. The only complaint that I have is that there was one section of Grant Park that AT&T had a hard time reaching. There was some interference or something, and if that's the only thing I can complain about, that's really minor.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Grant Park is this massive multi-mile park that stretches from the museum all the way to the buildings by like the Prudential Prudential Building and all that. It's a really long park.
Yeah.
4 city blocks. So you actually have to cross streets to get between the park or the pieces of the park. They had broken out the park into zones, into biomes as they're called, with Niantic. So you had the sandy beach zone, and it was the sand, like they'd actually brought in sand and things that looked like they were pulled right out of Utah's mesas, like Wile E. Coyote rocks and things like that, Roadrunner rocks.
Wow.
And then they had the spooky
That's a lot of
woods,
work, by the way, to do that.
It is a lot of work. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they've got, I don't know how many people. That's actually a good question. I don't know how many people went to this thing, but the place was packed,
Yeah.
and it wasn't gated, so you could walk there. You could walk through and see all the people playing Pokemon, but unless you had a ticket, you wouldn't see any of the content. Even the Pokestops and Pokemon that would naturally appear in that area,
Yeah.
you wouldn't see, because basically they had figured out a way, Niantic could figure out a way to gate all that content in that area, so that if you were a player who didn't have a ticket, and we had a couple people hanging out with us, Shane Maddox from TMS, a guy that we hung out with in Vegas, came out, and he'd pop open his phone every once in a while, say, yeah, nothing here to catch, and the rest of us are like seeing dozens of different kinds of Pokemon to catch. But they had a quest line that would take you on a path through each of those biomes to catch five unique Pokemon in the spooky woods, or 5 unique fairy type Pokemon in this area, or 5 unique ice type Pokemon in this area. And then you'd make your way back through that all those biomes to get to the other end. And didn't matter which end you started on, you'd kind of start at one end and go boomerang back that way, or one end and boomerang back the other way, south to north, north to south.
Yeah.
Really cleverly done, really well done. Taking pictures of Pokemon for quest lines and stuff like that. They had tons of these rare Pokemon called Unknown. There's 28 of them, one for each of the different letters of the alphabet, and then a question mark and an exclamation point. And so they had, like they have in previous years, the first set of unknowns spelled Chicago. The second set of unknowns in 2018 spelled Celebi, which was the legendary Pokemon you could get there at GoFest last year. And this year it was Wake Up with an exclamation point. So you can only get unknowns with those letters, and then you could trade them for other people who
When you say they were having you had to take photos of them, do you mean screenshots? Do you mean like actual objects in the world that you had to take a picture of?
Screenshots.
Okay.
Screenshots.
Right.
In the game there, with the AR photos, you can actually take a picture of any Pokemon that you've caught and make it look like it's in the room with you, that it's laying down on the on a bed, if it's like Snorlax or something.
Sure.
And so you had to take photos of Pokemon in their biome environment to finish a quest line.
Got it.
So for each of those biomes, there was one, take a Ralts picture in the Fairyland, or a Ghastly picture in Spooky Woods. So they had all that set up, and then there was just kind of running around answering trivia questions, or who can do the longest distance trade between 2 players. Like, this guy's got a Pokemon from the Philippines and this guy's got one from New Zealand, and doing a trade and stuff. I didn't participate in any of that stuff, but still had a great time. There was a merch tent, and of course the line for that was like an hour long. So we waited until we had completed a bunch of stuff, and they're like, all right, you want to go hit the merch line? Sure.
What they have? What kind of merch? Like a stuffed animal stuff, that kind of thing?
T-shirts. I actually picked up, you can see behind me. Am I pointing the right way? Let's see. There, you might be able to see it this way. Plusle and Minun, which are a negative and positive pair of Pokemon that go together. They had pins and hats and other apparel. Basically kind of like your BlizzCon stuff, right? Like hats, shirts,
Sure.
jackets,
Sure.
Plushies, stuff like that.
Typical selection. Sure.
Typical selection, and just like BlizzCon, they have a certain amount. Well, I guess not like BlizzCon. At BlizzCon, they're all there until they sell out.
Yeah.
At Pokemon Go Fest, they had a certain amount allotted to each day, so that people on the last day wouldn't get cheated out of stuff. But they ran out every day fairly early, from what I hear. So
Wow.
if you wanted something, you wanted to go hit it first thing in the morning. But all those things are available on their website, so you can go get it.
Did
anytime
you?
want.
Did anybody get any pictures of Brian with a see-through bag like I requested?
They would have. However, Thursday night, we got word from Niantic that they were relaxing the requirement for the transparent backpacks.
Really?
So yes. So I
Aw.
immediately switched to a different bag that was going to be way more accommodating to my battery pack and a charge cable. Because otherwise, the clear backpack that I had, everything just gets kind of dumped in the center.
Yeah.
Whereas the other bag I wanted to bring had a padded pouch for my iPad, had a zippered pouch on the back that I could pull my charge cable out of and plug in my phone or whatever,
Right.
and immediately put it back, and way easier to deal with than the dumb clear bag that I still purchased and I still own.
Right. Now you've got it. Now
But
you can take it to the
I
next
got it.
weird thing where they require transparency.
Well, it's a requirement, like Invesco, or not Invesco Field, whatever they're calling Mile High Stadium now, Broncos Stadium. It's a requirement at the baseball park and stuff like that. So yeah, it's
useful.
It'll come in handy for something, but now I don't have to. Now I can actually put it on Tina's back if we go to a sporting event and not be the one having to wear a clear backpack.
So wait, so let me get this straight. Did you huff around your tablet through the whole Go Fest? Just kind of
Oh
have
yeah,
it with you?
but it's.
Do you ever
but it's
use it?
I did once we kind of got situated. I'd never used it during the game. I didn't even want to pull it out.
Right.
Hello, and have people see that I was walking around with a really nice iPad. But
Yeah.
no, like once we sat down for dinner and stuff, then I pulled it out to kind of show some photos and.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Pull up some other things, but I mean, where else am I going to put it, Scott? I had no hotel room.
That's true. You had everything on you. That's true.
Yeah, everything that I brought,
I keep
everything
forgetting.
that I took on the plane, I carried around with me all day, which was nothing because I had a backpack. When I went there, I had a backpack with iPad, battery, headphones, and a couple cables. Zip, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and sunscreen.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And when I left, I had all that plus a T-shirt and a couple of plushies.
I forgot all about that. Yeah. Every once in a while, you'll say
Yeah.
something like, "Oh, I was able to use my other bag," and so in my head, I have this scenario: Brian's leaving his clear one in the hotel room, and then he's going back out. And I was like, "There's no hotel room. You were the
There's no
hotel
hotel
room.
room.
You were the hotel."
I was a walking Marriott.
Wow.
I was yeah.
That's cool.
Homewood Brine Suites.
So what time did you get home? You leave at 4 in the morning. You get home when? Like what time? How long is that?
Got back to the airport for a 10:30 flight at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then back home to Denver at 12:30 local, and back and in bed by 1.
And then up for film sack the following morning, ready to roll. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So there was, and I wanted to talk about some weird stuff that happened at GoFest, but it all went so well. Like it was all really well run. However, I did get to sit next to one of your favorite kind of people, Scott. One of your favorite kinds of people.
Great.
Dude on the plane. So as I'm getting on the plane to depart to Chicago.
Oh, this is leaving, not coming back. Okay.
This is leaving. Yeah. So I'm zone 2. I'm walking down the aisle and I look over and I see that one of the few things that I had to pay for on this flight, because remember I get the tickets for $12.
Right.
All I had to pay were taxes on the tickets because it was all miles that were expiring at the beginning of July.
Right.
But I did splurge and buy exit row to and from.
Nice.
And as I'm walking down the aisle, I look over and I say, "Oh, 12A, there's somebody sitting there." And as I get closer, I say, "Oh, I think you might be in the wrong seat. I'm in that seat." And it's a guy and his girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I was just okay, yeah, no problem." And so he makes his wife, who's in the window seat, get up.
I'm already annoyed, by the way. I'm already annoyed. I don't even know what's going to happen here.
This is 5:30 in the morning.
Ugh.
She moves into the middle seat, and he slides into the aisle seat.
Okay.
And he gets out of the row. She stays in the middle seat, and I kind of have to climb over. And it's always that Tyler Durden decision: do I give her the butt? Do I give her the crotch? Which
Right.
as I'm walking through to get to my seat, what am I giving to her?
Yeah, it's a hard call.
So I drop into my into the window seat, and start getting my iPad out because I'm gonna watch my recommendal for this week. I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh, all right. How did you consume AI, by the way? Was this on the way out, on the way back?
No, we watched it. Tina wanted to see it, so we watched it Thursday night.
Oh, okay. I meant to ask you that. I never did.
Tina did not enjoy it as much as
Really?
Yeah, the four of us on Film Sack.
That's too bad.
To our varying degrees of enjoyment.
Yeah, and to our varying degrees of surprise, I think. We were
exactly.
All, yeah. Anyway, so
now he slides back into the aisle seat. She's in the middle seat, but there's still some kerfuffle and stuff going on. Yeah. And after the person who comes to take their aisle seat shows up, he goes into the middle and then sends her across the aisle. And basically, it dawns on me that, all right, he tried to buy tickets last second for the exit row, ended up with 2 middle seats, and he was going to see if he could maybe talk somebody into trading an aisle or a window for another middle.
Sure.
In the exit row, but kind of gave up on that. Like didn't even ask me if I wanted to do that. He's like, oh, that guy wants a window. Yeah, I could tell by looking.
You're big intimidating looking guy with a see-through backpack. You're like, get out of my way.
Right. If I would have had the see-through backpack, he probably would have felt like he had a chance. See-through backpack guy probably isn't discerning a man of quality and distinction. Right. He'll be happy with a middle seat.
Sure.
But whatever reason he bucked up, and he took the middle seat next to me and sent her across the aisle to the other middle seat.
Okay.
And immediately starts to tell me his woes.
Oh no.
And like, I'm just so frustrated. This is the last time I'm flying Frontier, man. They I bought tickets yesterday or a couple days ago, and I tried to pre-buy my carry-on bag, but the website wouldn't let me do it, and so I had to buy it when I got to the airport, which cost twice as much. It's normally $45, and I had to pay $60 for my carry-on bag, and I'm never flying Frontier again. I'm like, yeah, okay, that sucks, dude. Sorry. And then I put my headphones on, and like, all right, dude. So then, anytime anyone flying the plane, flight attendant, any Frontier employee would walk by, he would tell them of the story. And it slowly evolved to the point where he was saying, I got double charged for bringing my carry-on bag on here.
Oh, well, no, it evolved then, his story did. That's interesting.
His story evolved.
Yeah.
Eventually, he kind of figured out that limited number of Frontier employees on the plane means he only needs to tell that story 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And he decided to put in his headphones.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, he's in the middle seat. He's wearing headphones, and I'm going to do something that's kind of visual, but I'm going to describe it for the people listening to the podcast.
All right, we can do this. We have imaginations. Go.
I think he's listening to maybe Kanye, or he's definitely listening to a hip-hop artist.
All right.
And he's sitting there in his middle seat, not moving his mouth or anything like that, not singing along or mouthing the words, but he's going.
Oh, I would die!
I wanted to record the video. So for the people listening, he's basically acting like he's DJing, or he's on stage at Coachella.
Yes.
And he's delivering some fat lyrics, and the way they kind of move their arms with like their fingers together, palms, and just kind of gesticulating, but he's not singing along or mouthing the words or anything like that. He's just like moving the arms and the hands like he's
the white guy, I take it, right?
Total white guy, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Not that it matters that much, but it kind of does. It looks weirder if it's him.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have been annoyed to no end here. This
just kind of chuckling like, all right, yeah, this guy will be on TOS.
Was he? And he was there. This is a nonstop flight. You don't stop anywhere.
Nonstop flight. So 2 hours, 10 minutes from Denver to Chicago. Well, yeah, closing doors to opening doors. We sat there and taxied and stuff like that. But so basically a 2-hour flight.
Chat room. Somebody in the chat, please cap that clip of Brian doing that dance.
Well, there you go, and that way the people who listen to the podcast can finally see what I'm talking about.
Because I need to make a freaking, there it is. I need to make a GIF out of this real bad. So here, let's see how this looks and repeat. Oh yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, GIF time. Happy GIF time. Thank you very much. You just did that. Whoever that was. All right.
So all in all, it was a lot of fun. Real
good.
quick story.
Yeah.
This is super quick. Yesterday, Tina and I went on a long bike ride, 23-mile, big loop to prepare for MS 150.
Yeah.
I'm preparing. She's actually just going along for the ride.
Right.
And we're going down this stretch of the path where there's a lot of people walking. And what I always do, and what I encourage all other bike riders to do, is as you're coming up behind somebody, you say, 2 bikes on your left or 1 bike on your left or whatever, so that they know to kind of slide a little bit right. I'm sure people, when you're walking the dog, you'll have the occasional bicyclist that goes by you and says, coming up on your left, something like that, right?
Yeah, sure. Normal.
Yeah, that's enough. And I don't do it. I don't wait until I'm right behind the person and yell it at them. I say it from a good enough distance back that they've got time to react and it's not a jolting sound. And there's an older man, shirtless older man, no headphones on or anything, ambling his way down the path.
Okay.
I don't know why you take your shirt off, but he took his shirt off.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, he was into it.
And I say, 2 bikes coming up on your left. And this is from, like I said, quite a ways away.
Yeah.
He acted like I snuck up behind him and got really close to his ear and said, 2 bikes on your left. He starts flailing his arms and just like jumps off the path like
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Like Humongous from Road Warriors coming down and about to like spike him with the front of his vehicle.
Just walk away. Just walk away. He said.
Exactly.
He heard in his head.
And I'm like, I say, oh my God, sorry. And I got momentum. I'm still going. I keep going. Tina's behind me.
Yeah.
We're kind of both chuckling. And then she comes up and says, did you see what he was doing? I said, no. He says, he was in the process of trying to drink from a little tiny airplane bottle of vodka. Now this is 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is.
And it dawns on me. It's like, oh, this guy's homeless, and we've. But apparently, as soon as we passed, he downed that entire little mini airplane bottle of vodka.
Yeah,
like,
you startled
I thought
him.
we might have scared him sober, but we.
Yeah, they threw the thing on the ground and says, "That's it. I'm quitting. I'm turning over a new leaf."
That's the only sign I needed, Lord. I'm done drinking.
I'm glad you brought that up because it reminded me of a thing happened to me yesterday. Whenever I just last walked the dog. I guess it was Saturday before Film Sack, and I put a picture up on Twitter yesterday so people could see it. But there's this path that I go on, and you probably saw this. I don't know. But the path, I should just put it up so people can see it. Because you're going to think I'm lying or that I made this up or that it's not actually anywhere near me, but it is.
Sure.
It's this path that diverges. Let's see. Here it is. Let me pull this up for them to see.
Did 2 roads diverge in the woods, Scott?
Yeah, sort of. So there's this path. And it goes 2 different directions, and you can decide whichever way you want to go, and it all kind of loops back onto itself. And in the middle of this path is this light post. It actually lights up at night, creates a little bit of light. In the daytime, It's just this post. And a lot of dogs pee on it as they go by. I'll put this link in the...
Once one dog does, all dogs have to, because basically, this is a new bulletin board. Okay,
yeah.
Gotta let everybody know I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm putting this in our Discord so you can see it as well.
Okay.
You may have to click it to see it.
I will have to click it because it is a tweet.
Yeah. Oh, it just gave you the media link? That's weird. Anyway, go down until you find the path that diverges into 2.
Okay.
Anyway.
Actually, what I'll do is it's actually, give me your media link.
Yeah,
okay.
It's weird. I don't know. It didn't give me the
Thrones,
direct link.
Bill Hader, a couple of sandals. Okay, I found it.
All right. So as you can see.
Okay, well, there's, wow.
As you can see in the middle of there, like my brain just works this way. As soon as I walk down that path, I see a pair of legs, a crotch, and a wiener, right? That's what I see. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even that. I mean, there's no like, I don't know how you could possibly see that, Scott. There's even a bush around
yes.
the post.
Yes.
Like,
and that was I made reference to that in the tweet where I said someone needs some manscaping or something like that. But here's the thing. So I do this. I take this picture for my little joke. I put it on Twitter, whatever.
Yeah.
No big deal. The part I forgot to tell people about it, I didn't say in the tweet, is there was a couple walking their dog behind me who watched me do this apparently, because when I took the picture and then went on my way, I look back and they are both staring at it in the same place I was, discussing it for a second back and forth, and then had this look on their face like it just dawned on them what I was doing. And then they're just laughing, standing there laughing. So even they could see it. So it's not just me. I'm not the only person that sees 2 legs and a wiener, right?
Wow. But how could it have taken them that long to figure out what you were looking at? Because it's friggin' instantaneous.
I know. For me, it was anyway. I mean,
I guess because as a guy, that's the angle that you usually see.
that's your POV.
That's
you know?
your POV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you
exactly.
get. That's why we're so nasty looking men are.
Right.
But that's your that was fun. I enjoyed that.
That's
It was
awesome.
fun watching them react in a way that was like, oh, that's what he was taking a picture of. And they kept moving on. Anyway, well, that's great. I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm glad to hear that they have a solid con going now, or not con. That's not the right word. Whatever, festival.
Yeah, I guess fest. Yeah, fest is.
I mean, was the food there, like how all that kind of stuff?
Oh, they had food trucks, Scott.
Oh, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Now, media. I had a media badge, so they had a media tent, and they had free food in the media tent,
Yeah.
and I got to see Pokemon Go YouTube sensations, trainer tips, reversal, and Mystic 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything to me.
Doesn't to
I'm on
me,
it.
but they sound like they're the hot products of the Pokemon Go.
They
world.
are the hot product
Yeah.
right there. But then they had food in there for us. But then they also had some food trucks, and I really wish I would have gone to the other set of food trucks, and because there was a Chicago hot dog food truck, and I wanted deep dish pizza. I wanted a Chicago hot dog, and that's it. That's what
Yeah.
I wanted from Chicago, and I ended up having deep fried chicken breast, or like chicken breast tenders,
Like
basically,
tenders,
from
sure.
a place called Harold's,
Yeah.
which is like another Chicago staple, Harold's chicken.
Oh, Harold's Chicken. That sounds good.
But it wasn't a.
By
It
the way,
wasn't a,
speaking
yeah.
of chicken, when did Popeyes get good? Because we had Popeyes the other
Right?
day, and it's awesome. I don't know what
I haven't
happened.
had. It's funny. I had Popeyes. Popeyes. You like Popeye? Like Popeye, right? Popeye. Sorry, Danny Glover impersonation, everybody,
was really
from
good.
Lethal Weapon 1.
Wow, that's a throwback. We are literally getting too old for this shit.
That's right. Like Popeye, right? Like Popeye.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, Popeyes has gotten good. I haven't had their chicken in a while, but I do go for their popcorn shrimp, and it is good.
It's really good, and
really
their
good
chicken's
stuff.
insane.
Yeah.
We got this chicken the other day. It's insane. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I when I was growing up, Popeyes was categorically bad. It was not good back
Yeah.
in the day. Now, it may have been better in parts of the country where they were like, native to it or something. But out here, anytime you had Popeyes, it was a death sentence. It was terrible. Something changed, and we had it recently, and I just went, oh my gosh, Popeyes chicken. What are you doing? It's so good. I want your chicken. I crave it now. I'm never going to KFC again. Like, why would I go to KFC?
Really,
KFC
really
is
good.
gross.
Yeah, no, Popeyes is great. So Harold's Chicken, I did a little look online, man. This place is wow, their logo is a dude carrying an axe chasing a chicken. That's awesome.
Wow.
I'll put a link in our Discord here, but
Got any
yeah,
Pete?
apparently I shouldn't feel so bad on missing out on a Chicago hot dog, because Harold's Chicken apparently is a very prominent staple of Chicago. Sorry, Siri went off for a second. I don't know why.
Oh, that's weird. You say Chicago staple, and she's like, "What?" I don't know why she would care.
Chicken with staples.
Yeah,
But-
chicken staples.
Hold on a second. One of each of his franchises develop its own personality rather than forcing to fit the same mold. This individually continues today, even as Harold's has expanded into other areas of Chicago. Some Harold's restaurants are very informal, with takeaway chicken served by employees standing behind a window of bulletproof glass.
Whoa.
Originally introduced as a necessity rather than an aesthetic concern, as Harold's often served some historically rough neighborhoods.
Wow.
Well, the food truck was not behind bulletproof glass, so I feel pretty good about that.
Wow. Look. Oh yeah. Here's a couple of locations. Oh yeah. Look at that. These are rough. That's a rough neighborhood. But then there's some neighborhoods that
Yeah.
look very nice. And also the logo is just a guy with a tomato on his head. It looks like a crazed Santa suit wearing guy.
It does look like a crazy Santa suit. Why does he have
That's
Why does he
weird.
have something wrapped around his right leg but not on his left leg? Like it's like a parka.
I don't know. Oh, is it? It's hanging out the back. Maybe it's just a bad illustration.
It's a bad illustration, but
Yeah.
he's carrying an axe chasing a chicken.
That's really weird. Here,
Like, talk about telling you exactly where your food is coming from. I bet not a lot of vegetarians like their friends going to their non-vegetarian friends going to Harold's with that logo.
No, because look at that chicken. That's more like a rooster, isn't it?
Actually, it is, yeah, because he's got a comb.
Do they kill roosters? Do you eat
I don't
rooster?
know.
I don't know. Is that still just a chicken? I don't know what roosters
Still
are.
just a chicken.
All right.
Yeah.
I know it's male. It's a male, but can they? Can you eat them? Can you eat a rooster?
Why couldn't you eat a rooster?
I don't know. I don't know why I've never thought of this before. I thought it was all lady chickens. Maybe I'm just thinking of the eggs, maybe.
Because they have breasts, Scott?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he would too, though. What? Right? Like they don't care. It's not like regular boobs. But I really did think. For some reason in my head, I thought they kept the cocks around just to be there.
I'll say, you gotta take the lady. And
I didn't know roosters were edible. What is that? No. What do you mean it's biology class? Nobody talked about roosters in biology class chat room. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. I thought the roosters were like untouchable because they had to seed all the new chickens and eggs and stuff. Is that just
nope. They eat roosters too.
Okay. Just up in the night then on this. All right. Well, learned something new today.
Yeah. Here you go.
Let's see if Dunaway's around still. Wants to be a part of this. We'll play a little game today. Do a little giveaway.
Yeah.
It's Monday after all. Chance for us to do that fun thing. By the way, our number's 801-471-0462. That's 801-471-0462.
Oh, yeah, I can't. There's a because we talked about another name for a rooster.
Yeah, cock.
And I'd like to do the you can eat rice, but substitute that other word in there. And I think I'm not going to do that because there are people listening with their kids to the show.
That's a good point. We're going to be all on your kid commute today. We're going to spare you.
But those of you driving around without a kid in the car, you guys can all say it just like I did, but substitute the other word.
Yeah,
And there you go.
But also, a good reminder that you can call a donkey an ass. You can call a rooster.
Right, exactly.
You can call a rooster a cock if you have to.
And in England, you can refer to a cigarette as something else with an F word.
Sure. They all get away with it over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Dunaway, are you here with us right now?
Oh, hi. I'm just sitting back and listening to the things I can say.
I know. Exactly. Here's a list.
Yeah, here's the list of things you can say. It turns out it's limited. We also have
Oh,
on the
hi,
line...
Scott and Brian.
Oh, hi.
Donkey.
Hi. Hey, wait, I think someone's on the line already. Hi, who's this?
Hey.
Oh, good. Hi, who's this? What's your name?
Hey, Jonathan from Denver.
Ah, Jonathan from Denver. That's fantastic.
Hey, Jonathan
All right,
from
hold on.
Denver.
It's all happening so fast I didn't push the button. So here you go. We're going to play Babble Royale with Jonathan from Denver and Brian Dunaway from South Carolina and Brian Ibbett from Denver or thereabouts, Arvada, really. He is going to explain the rules.
That's right. So, Jonathan, I'm going to be giving Scott and Brian a topic. The two of them are going to go back and forth with answers that meet that topic. If one of them gives a wrong answer, repeated answer, they take too long to come up with an answer, the win is going to go to the other player. Your job is to predict who is going to come out on top based on today's topic. Today, you are playing for the carryover prizes. I believe we had carryover prizes from last week. The Mad Max figure, some tea, and a print pack from Scott. Plus, did you want to add something, Scott, or do you want me to add something?
Let's add another Mad Max mystery fig.
All right, so 2 Mad Max mystery figs, and
I'm sorry, that one was already in there. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, I misheard that. Let me do. Let's put in a 2 weird Norwegian CDs.
All right, cool. 2 weird Norwegian CDs.
Compact
typing that in our
discs
list.
with strange Norwegian music on it. They're fantastic. Don't worry.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Bjork. None of them are Bjork, by the way. I should make sure to make that clear.
No.
Before Scott and Brian can start, though, I'm going to give them their topic. This one comes to us from TMS Mashups himself, Jamie Brand. There have been 14 actors who have either played or done the voice in animation for Superman.
Okay.
How
many?
None of
What
which
was the total? Sorry.
are named Nicolas Cage, by the way.
Yeah.
There are 14.
14. Okay.
Oh, I take that back. You know what? I shouldn't have said that because Nicolas Cage did. So I'm throwing out Nicolas Cage, who did actually.
Don't throw out Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, nobody can throw him out.
I'm throwing out Nicolas Cage.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
I'm gonna steal him from I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. That was really more me doing an impersonation of Andy Samberg doing an impersonation of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty good. It's
But
not
I'm
bad.
throwing out Nicolas Cage, who did the voice in Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Teen Titans.
Yeah, that's true, and it was a
And this is
reference.
this voice work, right? You're not
No,
including
actor, live action or animation.
live action. Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There are 14 other ones that are not named Nicolas Cage.
Right.
All right.
And I want to see how many of them you can name. Jonathan, now that you know the topic, who do you want to go first? And who do you think is going to win?
I think Brian's gonna win. I'll let Scott go first.
All right, fair enough. I feel pretty good about this, actually. All right, I'm gonna say. Let's get a. You know what? I'll save him in case I need him. Let's go, Christopher Reeves.
There you go. Christopher Reeve, singular. He is not
Or
plural.
Reeve, sorry, Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve played Superman from 1978, 1987,
Yep.
78, 87 in the movie series, of course.
The only Superman ever to kiss Alfred on the lips. And for those who know what I'm talking about, you have to dig back and find it.
Death Trap.
Yeah. Oh, Brian knows. Death Trap.
Yep.
Nice. Well done.
Absolutely. With who's the woman? Faye Dunaway in that?
Probably.
It's funny because that just came up when we were in Victor, Colorado.
Yeah.
That was
Colorado.
playing. There was somebody, they were doing the play of that at the local Playhouse theater.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
I feel
Brian.
like that would be a good film sack movie too, by the
Yeah.
way. But let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, then I'm gonna go with George Reeves. His was plural.
His was plural. He actually played in the Adventures of Superman from 1951 to 1957. George Reeves.
Sad ending, George Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he committed suicide or something, didn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
He got shot.
Oh no, that's what it was. He got.
Okay, I'm kidding.
No, something bad happened to him. No,
We don't. I wanted some
I think
irony.
we don't have to say that it's too soon. I think we're all right. I think
Too soon.
I can't remember. Someone will have to look it up, but he died in some horrible way. Okay. Sorry, my brain just went weird. Oh my gosh, you just threw me. Hold on.
Oh, was it the or the George Reeves?
That's a heck of a tactic there, Brian Dunaway. It does
Right,
appear to be
thank you.
working.
Dean Cain.
Oh, that's a great one. You were saving him, weren't you? You
Yeah.
had to end up using him early on.
I had to use him because I'm thinking.
Dean Cain. Canes. We'll say he's plural too. Dean Cain, Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, 1993 to 1997.
Okay.
So far, you guys are going down my list in the order I have them here, so I don't know.
That's because
Yeah.
they're the most. That's the most popular ones. Now
I
we're
think it's the
getting
most
into some-
popular ones. It's not. Yeah, this is not in
Yeah.
order in which
Yeah,
they
we're getting
were.
out of the popular ones now
Correct.
Yep.
because I'm gonna go with Mark Harmon from the Justice League version.
Mark Harmon.
Mark Harmon, great,
Right.
hell of a guy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I
He's,
don't-
Hell of a guy, that Mark Harmon. Yep, Justice League, Crisis on Two Earths, the animated, provided the voice for Superman, and
Right.
was also on JAG, NCIS. I can't remember.
NCIS.
Mark Harmon.
It's NCIS.
NCIS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also had a great smaller role. It was only, I don't know, half a dozen episodes of West Wing. He was really good on there. Played a Secret Service guy.
He also stole Sybil Shepherd away from Bruce Willis on Moonlighting.
Oh my gosh. He was
And
also.
he's been married to Mindy from Mork and Mindy since 1987.
I did not
What?
know that. Is that true? Wow.
That's 100% true.
Interesting.
He was
Pam
also.
Dauber and Mark Harmon.
What was the show
Oh,
that
I
he
like
was?
Pam
Where did
Dauber.
he get his start? It was St. Elsewhere with.
St. Elsewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good actor.
I watched
Nothing wrong
a
with him.
documentary recently about Pam Dauber and what she had to do with her, My Sister Sam. You guys remember
Oh,
that?
that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that was
Stalker.
That was gnarly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was rough.
He was also Ted Bundy back in the 80s movie they made for TV.
Bundy.
Yeah. All right. Tom Welling is my next guess.
No.
Oh, hello,
That's a good one.
Tom Welling, absolutely. Where do I have it here? Smallville, 2001 to 2011. I
Okay.
don't know if you had me on camera, but I've got Kitten.
No, I did. He's cute as ever. Yep.
There, Remus. Tom Welling, yes, 2001, 2011. Superman on Smallville.
Oh, on Smallville.
Back to you, Brian.
Well, I think I remember Jerry O'Connell doing a pretty decent Superman.
Jerry O'Connell.
Do you? Jerry O'Connell, do you?
Wait a minute.
That's right. Is it not on the list? Am I not remember that wrong? Please don't tell me it was somebody else. Because I swear it was his voice. No, wait.
No, you don't. You said Jerry O'Connell.
Wait.
You said Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah,
I'm not getting him confused with somebody else, Emma. Wait a minute.
You probably are, but that's okay because you said it. Brian?
Yeah, I see no reference. I know what you're confusing it with, but I see no reference to Jerry O'Connell as Superman.
Who is he confusing him with?
He was Shazam in the DC Universe animated original movie short film called Superman Shazam: The Return of Black Adam.
Wow. Okay, can I name the other two I knew, and then I was going to be all out?
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. I'm confirming. Hold on.
All right.
He was Captain Marvel there. Oh, 2016 Justice League versus Teen Titans. He did do the voice of Clark Kent.
Did he?
So
did I get it on a technicality?
You did get it. Oh, and Justice League. Let's see. Justice League versus Teen Titans. The Death of Superman.
Take that! Technicality!
Batman Hush and Reign of the Superman were Jerry O'Connell. Okay, so that's why I wanted to stop
you know what's funny?
Yes.
And you know what's funny?
What's that?
I don't even think it was Jerry O'Connell who I was thinking of.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. So, we are continuing.
All right. Jonathan, you are still in the running, sir. All right,
Ow,
let's
that
see.
hurt.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh.
Routh.
Also, the Atom. Brandon Routh. Superman
yeah.
Returns 2006 was his foray as Superman.
Yep.
Right.
For a hot
And you
second.
can find him on Legends of Tomorrow. as the Atom.
Legends of Tomorrow.
He looked a lot like Christopher Reeve in that.
He did. He totally did.
I think he was fine.
One
I
of my
think
favorite Superman actors.
Yeah,
is,
as the
Brandon
actors
Routh.
go who portray him, he was perfect. The movie's not great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
And I also wonder what Bryan Singer and if Bryan Singer and who played Lex Luthor,
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey were in
Kevin
cahoots
Spacey.
during that. I wonder if anything weird happened. I'm just saying, those two are a little something going on there.
All right. Back to you, Brian Dunaway.
Shut up. I'm stalling for time.
Nope, no more of that.
Come on,
Later.
stall.
Give us something.
Fine. I'll go with. I can't remember. So I'm going with Nicolas Cage. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose right. I'm going to lose
Okay.
big.
All
Nicolas
right.
Cage,
Well,
you said I couldn't say it. I don't care. I'm saying it anyway.
All right.
Okay, good. You said it, and I already said you can't say it, so.
Well done. I still had Henry Cavill up my butt. I could have done that one.
Henry Cavill.
I don't know
damn
why.
it.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't say Henry
I
Cavill,
couldn't
Brian.
I couldn't think of it. I could see his face.
The
Couldn't
most
remember his
recent.
stupid name.
Martha?
The
Why'd
mo-
you say Martha?
The most recent of Supermen.
God.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Sort of the most recent. I would actually say that Tyler Hoechlin, who plays Superman on the Supergirl TV show, is even more recent.
I would have never gotten that. I don't know his
Yeah,
name.
exactly.
Yeah.
You could have also said Tim Daly from Wings. He played
course.
Superman in the animated series 1996 to 2000. George Newbern, who did the voice for Justice League. James Denton from the All-Star Superman animated show. Danny Dark from Super Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Dank.
Danny Dank. Bud Collier, who did the voice from The New Adventures of Superman, plus many other TV voices for Superman. And then Kirk Allen, who in 1948 played live-action Superman in 1948 in Atom Man versus Superman and some other film serials.
That sounds like fun. I'd watch that.
Totally. I think
Yeah.
we should watch one of
Film
those for
serial.
fun.
That'd be all right. Jonathan, how do you feel now that Brian has lost all hope for you? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, a little,
Sorry, man.
little disappointed.
Yeah,
I
right?
know.
I would be
I'm
too. I
sorry.
would be just so.
Thought I had it there.
I'd have your head hung low all day if I were you about this
I
whole.
know.
whole
To
affair.
not be... Hoechlin, is that how it's pronounced? Thank you, Baton 216.
Well, you
Yeah,
never
to
know.
not be able to pull out Henry Cavill. Come on now. Come on.
Everybody
I-
pulls out a Henry Cavill.
Can't believe I did
His,
not think
you know
of
that
Henry
thing's
Cavill.
almost done. His Witcher
Yes,
series.
his stint's almost done.
Yeah, the Witcher. No, the Witcher series is coming out in like 2 months or something. I'm stoked about that. I want to see what that turns out to be like. That is either going to be poop or really good. I can't decide. Anyway, good luck, Netflix, with your little plan. Nice job, everybody, except for Ryan Dunaway, who blew that whole thing. I'm going to play this for you. And next time, you'll have another chance on Wednesday to prove people right that you truly are the smartest guy.
Superman, I'm no Superman.
Nope, you're no Superman. Like that song. You know the one?
Yeah.
From the
I
Scrubs?
can't do this all on my own. I'm no Superman.
I have to cheat and look at the internet. Just kidding, Brian.
By the way, I
never
forgot about
accuse you of
Channing Tatum. Also wasn't on this list, but he was in the Lego movies as Superman.
Oh, Tatum Channing? He was in there? Great.
The Tatum Channing.
Tatum Channing. Great. Brian Dunaway, kiss our butts. Bye. All right. He's gone. We have no news. There's no news time. So we're not doing the news.
No time for news, but I can tell you that this middle of the show is brought to you by.
Yep.
Do you like podcasts? Do you like genre films like the X-Men and Mad Max? Is your name Scott Johnson? If you answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, then you should check out the latest episode of Nerdzilla, the ABC podcast by nerds for nerds. In the most recent episode, Joel and Andrew, A, discuss why you may actually want to go see X-Men Dark Phoenix. B, remember the BBC sci-fi show Blake 7. And C, have a chat with Hugh Keysburn, the actor that played the toe cutter in the first Mad Max movie, and Immortan Joe in how's that pronounced?
Madamix Frodero. Madax Frodero. Yeah. He was great.
You can hear all this and more in episode number 125 of Nerdzilla. Available now where podcasts are presented to you.
Nice. On that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll spend some time with Steven Schleicher of Major Spoilers fame, and Daryl's got a little something to say. So we'll bring all that up to fruition here shortly. Before that, though, Brian, why don't you make a song thing break deal?
A song thing break deal. All right, so here's something I absolutely love. You familiar with the band Charlatans UK?
I am. Vaguely.
Yes, you're familiar with the band Squeeze UK, who changed their name just to Squeeze after their first couple albums. The Mission UK, another band with the UK at the end of their name. Let's talk about a band called Bones UK.
Whoa, all right.
They're from New York, which I absolutely love.
Yeah,
they might have originally been from the UK, but it says here from New York. Bones UK is a band that's coming out with their full-length debut album July 12th, coming out in about a month via Sumerian Records. However, you're going to get to hear a track right now, an early track. These guys rock. They totally do. Rosie is your lead vocalist. She's joined by guitarist Carmen Vanderberg. And she says that the song you're about to hear is a track about being so into someone that you want to kill them. She says, when you see a puppy that is so cute, you want to squeeze it until it dies. When you feel so much, you don't know what to do with it all. It makes your teeth clench and your fists hard. Well, that's this song right here. It's called Choke. It's by Bones UK.
All right. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
My dinner. Okay, bye. I'm going to eat it now in a minute. Okay, bye.
Baby shark.
The Morning Stream. How about a booby?
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. We are now in the mood to bring in a dude.
In the mood for dude.
Yep. His name is Steven Schleicher. Goes by Major Spoilers on all social media networks. And he's a fantastic addition to what we do here on the show. Here's how I know, because this exists. Steven Schleicher, all the way from beautiful downtown Hays, Kansas. Is there such a thing as downtown Hays, Kansas?
There is, actually.
Oh, all right. I should... One of these days, I'm going to come out there and to see what your hometown's all about. That's what I want to do.
What is downtown in Hays, Kansas? Is there a fast food restaurant?
Fast food downtown? No grocery store, no fast food. The Main Street area is really pretty nice. It's the old historic area of Hays that, is one of the area stuff. In fact, the oldest bar in Hays, which I think goes back to like 1890, I think I want to say.
Yeah.
The brass rail is still in operation.
Yeah.
And it is for sale if anybody has $500,000 and wants to buy one of the oldest bars in Hays.
Wow. All right. Let's
They
do
can
it.
still do it. We've got a brewery downstairs, downtown, not downstairs. We have our own brewery in downtown Hayes. There's actually a couple breweries here in Hayes.
I think you
that have
just
won
let
some
I think,
national
I think,
awards.
I think you just let it slip that you have a brewery in your basement, and you just have,
I wish.
downstairs in his basement.
yeah, it's very secret.
wish.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I heard it too.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask it.
What if someone played someone who played Superman?
Oh, that's
Like
it.
Ben
Right.
Affleck.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in people were asking about George Reeves and how he what happened to him. The official word is that he committed suicide. He was at a party, went upstairs, there was a gunshot. People went upstairs, door was locked, he committed suicide. But the unofficial word is that there may be multiple people or the mob or an ex-lover or somebody who have killed him. But in the movie
Brainiac is a
Hollywood,
person of interest. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
right. But in the movie Hollywoodland, Ben Affleck played George Reeves, and there is multiple scenes where he is wearing the Superman costume.
Oh,
That's
wow.
interesting. If that would have come
probably
up,
not.
if that would have come up, I might have allowed it.
Okay.
Because that's a very interesting thought. By the way, I've looked at the two things that you want to talk about, and before we talk about either of those,
Mm-hmm.
can we talk really quickly about California Adventure at Disneyland, California, and
Well,
what's
I haven't been able to go, so
Oh, why? What happened?
but certainly you've heard the news about what's coming in 2020.
What's happening? I missed it.
the what is it? It's the Marvel Land,
It's
right?
all the Marvel stuff, yeah. So Tony Stark's laboratory and Spider-Man, like Peter Parker's apartment or something. I mean, basically, it's going to be they're finally bringing more than just the Guardians of the Galaxy over to, but they can't call it Marvel Land because of Universal Islands of Adventure.
That is really, really interesting because for those people that don't know and they're like, well, why hasn't Disney opened up this Marvel thing? It's because, and I don't know how many years, it may be to infinity and beyond, but at one point, Universal Pictures for the Universal theme park in Florida had the rights to all the Marvel properties. And so that's how they created that theme park. But it only went to east of the Mississippi that they could do that. So west of the Mississippi, anybody else could do it. And it looks like Disney's finally doing it. But until they work some agreement out with Universal, or maybe buy Universal, who knows? I don't think you're going to see anything open in Disney World. But a lot of the people who are going to the Star Wars Galaxy's, Galaxy's Edge or whatever it is, going to that experience at Disney have been taking pictures of these construction areas that say something like Stark Industries coming soon or something like that, which looks really cool.
Yeah, well, everybody had wondered, like, if Disney was going to spend so much time on putting Star Wars stuff into these installations, why weren't they doing more with Marvel? And it sounds like they're gonna. It's just, it's next, and then how permanent it will be. That's a big question because a lot of that stuff in California Adventure is less than permanent sometimes. Like they'll put in, they have a Bugs Life thing that's getting yanked out. So you never know how long a thing's going to stay, but yeah.
Well, some of that stuff has been there for decades, though. Like the Bugs Life stuff has been around for like 20 years, maybe.
It's been there a long time, yeah. And I hate that ride. My wife gets sick on it. She hates it, so she doesn't want to be anywhere near that ride. The teacup-looking swinger thing, whatever it is.
Yes, the ladybugs, right? It's the spinning ladybugs or something.
Makes her very ill. But anyway, that's interesting. I want to see what that's like. Also, I'm happy to hear, I didn't know this, but a friend of mine just got back from Disney and said two things. One, it was kind of dead in main Disney. Because all the action is happening over in the Star Wars thing.
Star Wars, yeah.
Despite the fact that they have limited, they can only be there for so many hours and, they have to schedule when they're going to be there and all that. But in July, I guess that gets lifted and it's just everybody come on in. So
it's going to be a madhouse.
Yeah,
a madhouse.
It is going to be a madhouse. I can't imagine. Yeah. I'm hoping. I mean, we'll see what happens at BlizzCon. I don't even know what's happening with that yet. But if somehow that all works out, that might be the time I even get to go, let alone want to go.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, people are talking just in these ones that you have to schedule and these pre-releases, going into that park, just going in, if you want to spend $200 to buy a lightsaber, that's like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
Getting onto the Millennium Falcon ride here is at least 2 hours for that as well.
2 hours.
And that's with the gated appointment.
With the gated appointments, yes.
F that. Imagine in July what that's going to be. That's going to be the worst. So
I have
2
heard
hours.
the best time to go.
Yeah.
The best time to go I've heard is going to be in September on a Tuesday.
Really? A Tuesday?
Once everyone is back in school.
Well, it was going to be the best time to go until you said that.
Now there are millions of Disney crossover TMS fans are going to flock there the first Tuesday.
I used to years ago. as a summer job, I worked at Disney World, and so I went, during the time when it was peak madness.
Yeah.
But I was always told the best time to go was right after school started in September and October, but before they switched over to their October decorations, their Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
And that was the best time to go because it was the perfect weather. It was the lowest crowds. Everyone was not going to be there. So, take that what you will. So.
Oh my gosh. Is Pinterest allowed to show a bunch of death photos of people? They do.
Probably not.
Yeah, I was looking at I
but...
clicked on a thing that just says more info, George Reeves, something. And it took me to this Australian Pinterest page that is just full of people's autopsy photos. Yuck.
Oh God.
Yeah,
not just George Reeves's, but other people's.
Everybody. Michael Jackson's in there. Let's see. Robin Williams has got. Oh, I see. Yeah, I got to get out of there.
Yeah.
F that. I don't want that.
Pinterest. Oh, Pinterest.
I thought Pinterest was like all, sanitized across
sewing
the board.
And right.
Right.
And
the lady internet, as I used to say.
Cupcakes that look like Frozen characters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. All right, let's talk about the Tick. There's a superhero that's going away, which really bums me out. I guess. What is this? Was this a planned exit, or was the things not going well over there on Prime, or what?
Well, I don't know what was going on at Amazon Prime, but at one point, Amazon had decided not to renew it for its third season, and they thought maybe there will be some opportunities to go somewhere else. But the creators and people at Amazon said, no, that's enough. We might as well just leave it here and just end it with 3 seasons and be happy with that.
Right.
And this is from Ben
there will be a third season, though.
Yeah, it says. Let's see. Yeah, it just says they haven't. I thought it was 3 seasons, but maybe it was only 2.
Huh.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 3.
All right.
But they're just like, nope, we're not gonna bring it back. Sorry, everybody. Sorry if you were had your hopes up, but we can't do anything with it, and nobody else wants it.
This is the way of the Tick series. The first series with Warburton, it didn't last very long. This one certainly not sticking around very long. That's a bummer.
And they really did well with it. I loved the Amazon Tick series. I thought it was great. Yeah.
They're saying the first they split the first season into 2, and that's why I'm thinking it's 3 seasons.
Okay.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
How many episodes is that per season then? It's like 5 or 6?
6 in one and 6 in another, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not great.
I mean, that's kind of the way of a lot of productions, right? Where it's like, hey, we're going to give you shorter seasons.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, Doctor Who does what, like 10 episodes or something like that?
Sure.
For a season, and then you wait a year for the next group. You see things like what is the season 3 of Jessica Jones, the final season of Jessica Jones just dropped on Netflix.
Right.
That has what, like 10 episodes? I haven't looked to see how many total it is, but it's relatively short. But that seems to be, we're no longer in an era where we're expecting 23 to 35 episodes for a season.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy though to think about it, because 3 seasons of a show now, your average show on streaming or HBO or something, at an average of 10 episodes per season, 3 seasons of that show is worth 1 season almost of a show in the old way, the 24 episode thing.
Unless you're talking about the Rockford Files, and then in that case there were never enough episodes.
There were never. I agree with you. There should have been 80 episodes per season of that show.
Yes.
I keep forgetting what a fan you are of that. We should commiserate more. It's so good. The show was great. All right. Let's also talk about the must-read recommendation before HBO's show Lovecraft Country.
Oh my goodness!
I don't even know what this is based on, so this is going to be illuminating for me. Tell me what this is.
So first of all, I had just canceled my HBO subscription like a month before I realized that the Deadwood movie was going to drop, and so I had to resubscribe. And so I finally got to watch Deadwood last night. Oh my gosh, what a great movie.
Yeah.
But then I realized, hey, we've got The Watchmen coming, and there's also Lovecraft Country, which is based on a book by Matt Ruff of the same name. And it is looking at Lovecraftian horror during the time period of the Jim Crow laws. So we follow the main characters are these black heroes who go up into segregationist areas where Jim Crow laws are in full effect. There's a lot of racism in here, but what's happening is these characters are overcoming these horrors in very different ways and overcoming them very, very satisfactorily, I might add. The book is, from the HBO series, it looks like they're focusing on just like the first story in this book, which is about going and looking for a lost father and discovering, some heritage stuff, lots of racism, secret cults, some crazy Lovecraftian horrors that might come through a portal. That's what it looks like they're focusing the first season on. But if anybody wants to read this, it is a fantastic book, and I highly recommend it for a couple of reasons. Number one, Lovecraft himself was extremely racist.
Yeah.
Not a nice guy from, a personal point of view. From his writings, he doesn't interject a lot of racism into his writing as well. And especially if you are not keyed into some of the signals that he puts in his short stories, you may never know that Lovecraft was racist. In fact, there's a big part in the book where the main character who loves pulps and loves Lovecraft, his father comes up to him and says, or I think it's his uncle comes up to him and says, "Here, read this." And it's a poem that Lovecraft wrote about black people. Mm-hmm. And Lovecraft, infamously, I guess, had a cat that he called the N-word.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was his cat's name. So
wow.
What's really fascinating about what Matt Ruff does is he's taking the racism of Lovecraft and he's having his characters overcome that racism in the book, basically punching Lovecraft in the face and saying, well, your racism has no meaning anymore. We're going to take the horror aspects of your stuff and we are going to leave the racism behind. So from that standpoint, the book is extremely good, and I highly recommend people go check it out ahead of the HBO series, which is just under production. And the cool thing about this was announced right after Jordan Peele's first movie, Get Out. It was announced right after that movie came out that he was going to be an executive producer on this. And now it's taken, a year or 2 years for it to finally start production or get ready for production. And I don't know if they have a release date on this on HBO yet, but there's, I think, still plenty of time for people to read the book before the HBO series launches.
Interesting. Is it all tentacle-faced monster crap? Is that what we're getting?
There's actually one story that takes you off-world, but the first one is more along the line of secret cults that wants to bring a being into this world. So there is some little tentacle monster stuff there. Yeah. There's some Shoggoths, if you're familiar with them, that are running around in some of the woods. And I can't remember what else. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of... trying to think what else. A lot of it is just that what you might think of Lovecraftian horror, which a lot of people do think as tentacle horror. Yeah. But there is quite a bit of that runs through the book.
Yeah,
I think it's very satisfying even without the horror aspect of it.
You think he always reveled in making up creature names and stuff that nobody could pronounce? Like that would just he loved doing that and annoying people with that. He
might have, but in some cases he actually is referring to other, other creators' content. For example, the King in Yellow is actually a Derleth, not Derleth, Robert W. Chambers creation that he just kind of lifted and said, I'm going to make reference to this and use it. And so he kind of incorporated that into this idea of this greater Lovecraftian world. Robert E. Howard, who is famous for creating Conan, he and Lovecraft were very good pen pal friends. And so they would bounce ideas back and forth on one another. And in the case of items like the Necronomicon that we hear, I think Lovecraft had made a passing reference to that in one of his books. And someone else wrote to him and said, hey, can I just use the Necronomicon in something that I'm working on? And Lovecraft was yes. And so the reason why we have such a big, broad understanding of what we now consider cosmic horror or Lovecraftian horror, a lot of people would prefer you use cosmic horror instead of Lovecraftian horror because of Lovecraft's racism. But one of the things that is interesting is that from my reading of the way that Lovecraft shared his work and allowed others to use his work is that he would be somebody that would be very open to the Creative Commons licensing.
Right.
Meaning that, share, adapt, and pass along.
Sure. No, that's an interesting take. Do you think Robert E. Howard ever ended his correspondence, his pen palmanship with Lovecraft and said P.S. It says P.S. quit being such a freaking racist? Do you think he ever did that?
No, and I haven't really done a lot of research into where Robert E. Howard stood on racism. Some of his writings tend to have a little bit of that in there. Howard grew up in Central Texas,
Cross Plains,
and
Texas.
There are some really good books on his life. one of them written by Mark Finn, who I've interviewed in the past. It's just, very interesting, but I don't know, what his stand on race relations were. There, you can find online pretty much a near complete letter exchange between Howard and Lovecraft, if you ever wanted to see what these two were writing back and forth about.
That dude died at age 30.
He speaking of people committing suicide, like George Reeves.
Yeah.
His mother, I want to say, had cancer.
Yeah.
And after she died, he just went out into his car with a shotgun and just pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is how much he accomplished before 30. Just
Yes.
think how far he could have gone. Also, he has one of those photos that makes him look like he was already 64. So I don't know what was going on.
He was into boxing quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that contributed to that. His beefy look, and we're talking about Howard here, not Lovecraft.
Right.
Lovecraft on the other, these two would be like Stan and Laurel and Hardy. One's very thin and wiry. The other is a little beefy and heavy set.
Yeah. You like to wear. He looks like a pulpy detective type guy or a mobster or something. Definitely got that look of that time. Well, anyway, so look forward to that. I do look forward to that. I think HBO is the perfect place for something weird like that.
I think it'll be very interesting. I think a lot of people will really take to it. I think a lot of people, if you enjoyed Get Out,
Yeah.
then there are a lot of the same themes and elements running through Lovecraft Country that you enjoyed in Get Out.
That's great.
Get Out is definitely a cosmic horror tale with racism as the central aspect.
Is it really? I still haven't seen Get Out because I'm dumb.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, wow.
I just haven't gotten around to it. It's one of those things where it's just like
Oh my
any
goodness,
opportunity
Scott.
I've had, I should just watch it because I want to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
I would totally like to watch it.
You should really sit down and watch it. It is really good. So here's my recommendation. If you're going to watch Jordan Peele's Get Out, first of all, sit down and just watch it and just let everything flood over you. Don't try to read anything into it. And then go back, wait a day or two, and then go back and listen to it with Peele's commentary turned on.
Yeah.
And it's so good watching it, getting your own impressions of it, letting your own feelings and biases wash over you as you're watching this, and then watch it again with Peele's commentary.
Well, I'm going to do it because you said so.
It's streaming on Fubo TV, which I guess is a Fox affiliate.
Nice.
Also just out is Us.
Oh,
Jordan Peele's
Yeah.
Us just came out last week.
I also have not seen that, so I have a Jordan Peele duology to watch.
That's right. The marathon, the 2-movie marathon.
Yeah, all of his works together.
No,
at last.
seriously, I don't know what your plans are in the next couple of days, but just sit down where you're not going to be interrupted and just watch Get Out.
All right, I have
And
to
then
watch.
you will be like, I need to see Lovecraft Country or read the book.
Okay, oh, that's a great, interesting connection there. I wouldn't have known. I didn't know that was kind of that kind of story.
There are similar themes.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are very similar themes between the two.
All right. It was one other thing I was going to tell you, and I forgot what it was. Gosh dang it! Oh, I watched Riverdale, and I don't like it.
A lot of people don't.
It's terrible. And let me say this. Okay, when it started, the first episode, I was kind of intrigued. My wife's watching it; she's liking it. But she started, and I started watching episode 1, and I thought, oh, they're kind of going like. It's a little like that stuff they did with the zombie comics set in Archie's universe, like they're going a different direction. This guy's Jughead, but he's this really serious reporter type kid from the school, and a lot of stuff's told through his point of view. Archie's got issues. He's not the all-American redhead that he was in the comic, but he's got a good heart, and the girls are weird, and all this stuff's going on. And I thought, oh, they're kind of aiming for like a Twin Peaksy kind of weird, this town's weird kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
And they had that, I think, up front in the pilot kind of pretty well. And then it just turned into every other WB, CW style.
It's definitely aimed at the teenager drama mindset that you see on CW.
It's those one. What's the one they have? What's the dirty, rotten people or girls who suck? What's it called?
Mean Girls?
Is it Mean Girl? No, that's a movie. Or no, is that a TV show? I forget. Maybe it is Mean Girls.
Well, there was a Mean Girls TV show, or I'm sorry, there was a Mean Girls movie. I don't know if there was a TV show though.
What's the word? There's a Pretty Little Liars. That's the one.
Okay.
Gotcha.
It's like that. It's just that, and it bums me out because they got this cool logo and they got people who are dead and they're trying to figure out who killed them, and they've got the opportunity to go a little X-Files, a little like I said before, Twin Peaks, but it's bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, each season, from my understanding, kind of there's a whole different storyline in each season, and each one is just a little bit different and takes different themes and ideas and explores those. For my money, though, if you've got Netflix, I would say watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
That is a much more interesting show. But if you're sitting down and watching Riverdale thinking that it's going to be Archie Comics, definitely not Archie Comics.
Yeah. Sidian says it's not bad. It's just not for you. I'm not. These opinions are my own, guys. I'm not trying to ascribe this to all of you. I'm saying I really disliked it. I have friends who love it. Garrett Weinzierl loves it. It's his favorite show on TV. He watches every episode. But I can't do it. It's just bad. All right. I think that's it. Anything happening on the site you'd like people to check out?
No, not this week. I don't think there's a whole lot going on, although I will point you to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Major Spoilers, where we do our Finally Friday show now live there at 4 o'clock. Had an interesting discussion over this last month talking about education and things that I like about teaching, hate about teaching, where I feel we as a society fail to continue our education. And then this last week, we wrapped it up with how do books and people's desire not to read books, or people who refuse to read books, how that also contributes to the lack of education in our society. So the last month has been very interesting over there for Finally Friday. I'm sure we're going to get back to just some zaniness. Well, I'll talk about my new 5K that I just did this past weekend, this upcoming weekend, and tie that into some goal setting and stuff. You can find that again at twitch.tv/Major Spoilers.
Congrats on that, by the way. Well done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We are also a week away from a new Comic Dork, so Steven and I will be putting our heads together for that, so watch for that. Steven Schleicher, a.k.a. Major Spoilers on Twitter, and majorspoilers.com. Steven, have a fantastic day.
Stay hydrated.
Bye now.
See ya.
All righty. Let's put Brian back at the center. There you are.
Center me!
You have been centered. All right, apparently we call Daryl now.
Apparently that's something we do.
Yeah, it's not a ton of things to say with him, but we're gonna do it anyway.
That's right.
And have a little quickie with Daryl. So let's see here. His number's right here. Here we go. He's on Skype. Beep beep. Beep beep. Oh, here he is. Daryl Skeels, is that you?
Well, I hope so.
Oh, I do too. Where are you? Are you at work? I guess you're at work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How's work today? Everything fine?
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, how about I play this? Hold on. Listen to this. This is Daryl. Very old audio.
Wow, no kidding.
Hurry, make another clone of myself. Hurry, grow it up to my size, to my age, to my height. Hurry.
That's so good.
Oh,
wow.
Man. That's like 40 years old.
That's what you'd like people to think.
That's the other thing about you. Even the stuff that we have of yours that is like really old when you were a kid screwing around on a thing.
Just like you
sound
today.
just like you.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed a bit. You have the same voice.
Clone me now.
What was that about? Like, you would think you would take the Rockford Files theme and make a Rockford Files parody out of it, but
about
no.
The Rockford Files.
But instead, he does something about cloning. Yeah.
It was about all those stupid science fiction things where they make copies of people and they're just instantly grown up.
It's the weirdest thing, dude. I love it.
Can you smoke at the Shit.
All right, there's nothing good. That's more old Daryl there. All right, hey Daryl, he's the Trek nerd on the show. We're talking about Star Trek-y stuff, and there's not a lot of news this week. Obviously, we're between seasons of that there Discovery show. Bunch of new stuff in the pipe, but not a lot happening except for there is now a behind-the-scenes book about the 1970s, the animated series of Star Trek that's coming in September. I'm actually super interested in this, but you need to tell me what it's about. Like, am I going to get some juicy Shatner was a pain in the ass to work with type stuff?
I actually have no idea. And I've seen very little behind-the-scenes stuff about the animated series. I think in all the years since it's come out, I've seen one or two pictures of them recording audio, and that's it.
Right. So what I hope is in there, here's what I hope. Because there's famous rivalries between him and like Sulu and everybody really. It's like him and Spock got along, but everybody else fought all the time. I want more about that. I want to know if he was in that audio booth just being a huge pain in the ass because he's having to do Star Trek stuff in the 70s, and he wanted to be done with that and have his career recognized for more than what it is. Like, that's what I want. If all it is like, we decided only to do 2 frames per second and reuse a lot of animation. I mean, if that's all it is, I'm not into it.
It better be more than
I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of making of stuff like that, where it's, here's some single cells that we used over here, and here's a photo of Leonard Nimoy and Shatner sitting in the booth together recording their stuff.
See, that's boring. I want dirt. I want dirt. Don't you want dirt?
You want a tell-all, and that's not. Yeah, I don't think that's what. I don't know, but I don't think that's what this is.
How many books has he written? Shatner has written, if you don't count his science fiction that he's tried to write. I say tried. Some of it's good. Tech War's okay. Tech War's all right. But if you don't count that stuff, he wrote most recently Leonard, My 50-Year Relationship with a Remarkable Man. Another book called Up Till Now in 2008. I don't know what that was about. Star Trek Memories, published in 1993. Oh, these are always with other authors. He must not be writing. He's just sort of dictating, and then the other guy writes
like
it.
A ghostwriter kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, all right. Whatever.
Well, the documentaries he put out were pretty good, actually.
Yeah, those are all right. Yeah. Were those him or somebody just using him to do it? Do you know? Like,
I think he was the producer and maybe the director of them.
All right. Is he doing okay? Has anyone checked on him? Anyone gone over there and just looked in the window, make sure everything's all right?
Make sure
he's still okay. A meatloaf.
All right. I think of him more as a scone, like a nice buttered scone. Let's see here. I'm just checking. Yeah, he's still here. He's good. No trending topics on Shatner having any trouble, and that's good. We want him to stick around. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
He's in post production right now on a movie production called Senior Moment, and he plays Victor Martin in that. I'm guessing it's a lot of hilarious stuff about old guys. So there's that.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's shit my dad says too.
He was in The Indian Detective as David Marlowe. And that was in 2 years ago. And then most recently, he would have been in, The Big Bang Theory. He was in an episode of that.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, that show.
And that one time he did the voice of Superman.
Oh, yeah.
No,
shut up. No, he didn't, did he?
I'm just referring to the
thing earlier.
But nice to know you're listening, Daryl.
Yeah, nice throwback. That. He played himself on an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1996. So that's cool.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, Daryl, this has been great. We've really had a lot to talk about today. I look forward to that book. When's that coming out? You said September?
Yep, that's September, and it's going to be a hardcover, so there must be something to it then.
Okay. And is there any chance, do you think, that we get any... What's happening this fall? Like, what are the new... when are we getting Picard? When's that happening?
We're getting Picard towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, Star Trek Picard. Oh, you're right. Here it is. All right. Well, hopefully we'll find other Star Trek things to talk about between now and then.
Oh, I hope so.
Daryl, it's been a pleasure, as my dad would say. Have a fantastic afternoon and day. He is the Trek Nerd on Twitter. He's also at This Week in Trek at thisweekintrek.com. Any final words of wisdom?
Ga ga ga.
Okay. There he goes. All right, well, that wasn't so bad. Let's I kid. I like having Daryl on. He's a goofball.
Yes, of course, yes.
Mashup time. Jamie has put his hard work into this, and we have a new one. It is called Less Sweaty, Less Hard.
Oh, God. Okay.
Sounds like something Brian said. I don't actually know, but we're going to play it and find out. Here you go.
Touch my hairy spider.
I remember Who Was Eating Gilbert's Grapes. Is that how that movie goes? That's the name of it? Who Ate Gilbert's Grapes?
Who framed Gilbert's grape?
There it is. Whose grape was Gilbert groping? Who groped Gilbert's grape? Don't feed the dogs Gilbert's grapes. They were all yellow.
Look at the stars, see how they shine for you. Exactly.
Only 30 of them. That's like 30 seconds. It's a second per jack.
A second per jack.
Second per jack. Everybody jack for 1 second. Oh, I guess isn't that lady from Seinfeld who's not Chinese, but
that's Donna Chang.
Oh, Donna Chang.
Donna Changstein. Yeah.
You're not Chinese. No, I'm not. Well, then.
I thought I was crossing the great.
That is a great episode. That seemed really sweaty and hard, and this was easy because all I had to do was
you let the gerbils do all the work.
Yeah,
you do it.
Yeah, I like everything less sweaty and less hard. I ain't sucking on no hose ever. Forget it.
I ain't sucking on no hose.
Yeah.
I stole my bag, baby.
That's so good.
I don't even like cocaine.
So wait, when that song says she's a brick house, what's the inclination there? What are they saying there?
She's built like a brick house. She's
Strong?
she's
okay.
thick with the double C.
Yeah.
She ain't no Kate Moss.
Right. If something came and blew on her,
He likes them big and juicy, so give him that juicy double.
right. It's having a narcoleptic fit or something. Not narcoleptic. Narcolepsy is when you steal things.
No, that's narcolepsy is when you fall asleep at random times.
Oh, right.
Kleptomania is when you steal things.
That's the one where you want to do it all the time.
Those are nymphomaniacs.
Nymphomaniacs.
Yes. Also not compatible with narcolepsy.
Those are wise words of wisdom there at the end.
Yes, not compatible.
No. Turns out those two things don't go well together. Quick email. This really sheds some light on a thing that I've been thinking about. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read it. This is from Micah. Micah says, Scott and Brian, howdy. This is in regards to last week's discussion about Polish people jokes and why the 80s and 90s were full of jokes about dumb Polish people. Oh, wait, that's the wrong email. What happened to the McDonald's one?
It's down below it.
Oh, no, it's not there. It's gone.
Oh.
Hold on, let me see.
It was there.
Did I just come up? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm saving this other one for tomorrow. It's this one we want. Okay. All right.
So
email.
Everybody who want to know about Polish jokes, you'll learn. So that's a tease for tomorrow's episode.
That's a tease for Tuesday. All right, Tuesday tease.
How do you get a Polish person, put them in suspense indefinitely?
you start reading their email and then don't finish it until the next day. How about that? Josh, wrote in, says, hey, Scott, you mentioned on episode 1713 that you prefer McDonald's Coke and you weren't sure why it tastes so much better. In my inner circle, we refer to McDonald's Coke as Super Coke. The reason for this special taste is because they have a special filtering system to try and keep the flavor consistent across the globe, since the water source can alter the flavor of the product. I've also heard that this special water filtering system also helps with pulling the thing out of the ice.
Probably something out of the ice.
Something out of the ice that causes soda to fizz more. You might have noticed that at McDonald's, if you fill your drink, you don't have to compete with the head of foam as much. That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, that's totally true. Right. You don't have to sit there and wait for the foam to die down before you fill another jolt of Coke.
He says, I know it sounds like I might be selling you something, but I went looking on the subject because I also prefer Super Coke to the other sodas. Love the show, though, even though I'm slow at consuming it, bro. Your neighborhood-friendly Espy, Josh Espinoza. There is I did some looking too. There's lots of talk of secret combination stuff, like recipe that only Coke and Microsoft and McDonald's do together, and they've been doing it since the beginning, and they have some special deals. So there's a reason why that Coke tastes great. And I want to go get another one right now, talking about it. Actually, I don't, because I'm trying to stop. Drinking the Coke.
Project Skinny Scott.
Yeah.
Project Skinny Scott.
I can tell my watch is a little looser these days. That's a good sign, I guess. But I'm afraid to get on that scale because I don't think it's where I want to be anywhere near. So, whatever. Project Skinny Scott continues. May we yet find a cure.
May we find maybe one day project a Skinny Scott.
That would be great, wouldn't it? All right, I think that's everything. In terms of programming notes, today there will be a brand new Boop Show at 3:30. Also, in an hour from now, Kim and I will be doing Skim, so come back for that. That's a Monday joint now these days, if people weren't aware. So that's happening today at 11:30 Mountain Time, so you can come hang out with us then. And Brian, you got any other programming notes for today? You got anything coming out on feeds or any of that?
No, this is actually a pretty easy day. I probably will have, there will be another ANTP interview. I'm trying to see who hasn't gotten posted yet. I think I've posted all of the shows that Alex has recorded.
Is mine gone
Brian,
up yet?
Brandon, Monica, Tom, Rishi, Justin, Bridget. He's recorded yours. He has not edited yours yet.
Oh, okay.
So, either yours or Hammond's will be the next one on the feed, and that may be today. But just subscribe to it, and you'll find it.
Quick shout out.
Alex says he's got all of them recorded. He just hasn't edited.
Oh, okay, cool. Shout out to Rishi B, who I don't think is in the chat today, but it reminded me when you were talking about names and who does stuff. I told everybody that Alex did this song for There Will Be Dungeons on Saturday. It wasn't him. It was Rishi B. So I mixed them up because I'm dumb and I wrote the name down while I was talking to Alex about something else. And anyway, I got to give him full credit. But if you haven't heard that, and even if you don't care about TWBD as a show, go listen to the first 3 minutes of the show and listen to this rad song he made. It was amazing. So check that out. Thanks, cool. Rishi B, if you're listening. Alex says it's okay. He and I are the same person. Great. All right, that's it. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to support the program, patreon.com/TMS. Our website is frogpants.com/TMS. And we'd like more of your emails. Keep them coming. themorningstream@gmail.com. That's going to do it. Let's get out of here. Do you have a song to play today?
I do. Aaron wrote in. And so yesterday was Happy Father's Day. So happy belated Father's Day to you, Scott, and all the other fathers out
Happy
there.
Father's Day, all the dads, and you, Brian. And of course, what were we thinking? We never got to do this. So thank you for saying that.
We never did. No. Well, there was no show Friday, which is probably when we would have done it. Aaron says, I thought this would be a great song to be played right after Father's Day. Everyone loves a good dad joke with bad dad puns. So why not a band called Dad Brains, which is a play on the legendary punk band Bad Brains? This is great. I'm so glad that Aaron told me about this. So Dad Brains came out with a self-titled album last year. They've had a couple other releases, singles and stuff like that. This is so fun. I had to pick up the whole thing, but it is like a punk band fronted by clueless dads. It's great. Okay. This is the song called I'm Old. It's not really a cover so much as it's a parody of Bad Brains. Here is I'm Old from the band Dad Brains.
All right, we're going to play that now, and when we see you guys again, it'll be Tuesday for the morning stream, so come back for that. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Words every day.
Daryl has some of the dumbest audio I have.
Yeah.
In a good way.